Hello, ladies. Here we are. We're live here in the She Network in the She member site, the She exclusive for members only. I have my beautiful friend. If you ladies didn't tune in this week, she was actually our guest this week. She shared her story. She shared her journey, and she is absolute genius, right? She's going to be sharing with you guys, what does it look like? How do you tap into the power of you? Like, this is magical. Like, so this is her book, this is her magic, this is her genius. This is Miss Zondra TV, Miss Zondra Evans TV, Miss Zondra TV Evans. So he is going to be giving you the goods. So jot it all down. Go get your pad, get your notebook. Let us know you're here. And I'm going to turn it over to you. Zondra, how are you today?
I'm doing very well, as always. Doing well. But, it's been a long day, but it's good. I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We're super excited. I am going to give you the floor. I'm just going to go little here and just pull out of the screen, and you're going to have the whole screen to yourself. But I'm going to be here taking my notes, okay?
All right.
It's on you, and love you, girl. Go for it.
All right. Love you too. Thank you so much, Taylor. So when I was asked to actually do this session this evening for the She Network private group, of course, I was elated and excited about doing it. For those of you who may not really know a little bit about me, I want to spend a few minutes because I think setting that foundation helps you to understand kind of the life that I live today. So again, my name is Zondra Evans, and I am a certified life leadership and transformation coach. I am an inspirational and motivational speaker, and I am a best-selling author of a book by the name of The Power of Investing in You. And it's on Amazon, and I think it's on Kindle or whatever else. So listen, I'm going to talk to you tonight about the power of you. And I took a few things out of the book, but I just kind of want to talk to you very candidly and very open tonight about you, the true essence of who you are. I had interviewed with Taylor earlier in the week in the She Network, and I was talking about, versions. Like, who wants to serve a Xerox copy? I mean, really. There's so much power that is innately inside of you. There's no need to serve, a version of you. But tonight I want to talk about that it really all starts with your mindset. And so I know a lot of people talk about mindset. I know a lot of people say, I have this mindset that I'm going to, prevail, and I have all of these talents. But really, I want to talk about the types of mindsets. There's either a growth mindset, there's a complacent mindset, there's a stagnant mindset, there's a I can't do this mindset. How many of you have said, I'm not good at that. I can't do that. Oh, I've never done that before. Oh, I'd be terrified. We actually create the story, and then we actually create the sub story to support the main storyline. Do you do that to yourself today? I'm going to encourage you throughout this session to stop doing that and to think about, what kind of mindset do I want to have? Having a growth mindset is a beautiful place to be. Also, there are two types of energy, and I'm going to talk about that energy up front and now. There's a thing called catabolic energy and anabolic energy, two types. In anabolic energy, you've got more choices available to you in order to make those decisions in your life. But when you live in catabolic energy, you'll find that in catabolic energy, oftentimes it's a lot of stress, anxiety, fear, worry, and doubt, to the point that we can't even get to where we need to be. Nobody wants to live in catabolic energy, but the truth of the matter is about 98% of the people in the world live and operate effectively in catabolic energy because we've learned how to do that. So tonight, I really want to talk about tapping in to more choices, the freedom of choice. Now, when I talk about mindset, I always think about, the foundation, right? And that the foundation has to be really solid. If you think about, you know, a skyscraper, well, the higher the skyscraper, the stronger the foundation has to be. And so it's important that the foundation is laid correctly. But oftentimes we have cracks in our foundation and we know that we have those cracks and we do nothing about it. In fact, what we do is we cover it up with a little makeup, a little powder, a little lipstick, and keep it moving. And what I want to do tonight is talk to you about really fixing the cracks in your foundation. But you might be wondering, how in the world do I even get these cracks, right? Sometimes life deals you an unfavorable hand. Okay. And so you could do three things, right? You could throw the hand in, and that's just like quitting. Or you could hope that things change, keep the hand, hope that things change. Or you could play the hand and be fluid and be willing to try something different to change the outcome. Most of the time, we're not really willing to kind of play the hand that's dealt and stay in the game and try to be fluid in it and figure out what else could I do differently. I also talk a lot about a blue rose moment because I think in your life, you're going to be presented with blue rose moments. And those things are the uncommon things, the things that maybe don't even make sense even to you at first, but it's something deep in your spirit and something that you really want to do. So listen, I am on the side of play the hand that's dealt, be fluid, and try something different, because something different could actually be the thing that catapults you and changes your life and sets you on a positive trajectory. So think about trying something different. Think about changing your mindset and really figuring out, do I want to be in a growth mindset? That's a great place to be. There's so many more opportunities there. And then the other thing is, try to live in anabolic energy, that energy that's positive, that energy that gives you more options, so that you could really change and shape and form your life. So, I think a lot of times that we do a lot of hoping, and a little bit of dreaming, kind of to take us along the way. But if I think about that, hoping and dreaming is probably not really a strategy. And so we need a strategy for our life. With a strategy, you can actually obtain success if you're willing to get dirty, because you're going to have to get dirty with it and do the work. And a lot of times we don't want to do the work. When I talk to my clients, I still have coaching clients. And when I talk to them about, really, are you willing to do the work? Because it's hard. Are you willing to spend quiet time with yourself and ask yourself two questions? Who am I and why am I here? Most people don't want to do that, because why? If I hear something during that quiet time, it literally challenges you to be intentional. Like, are you going to do anything about the things that you hear? And oftentimes we just kind of, I call it, that we push it, right from under our rib cage. We push a little, sternly, and we push it past our belly button. And that's where we end up living. And that's not really the place that you want to live, past your belly button, where all that stuff, that's where chatter and gook kind of resides. And so you're like, no, it's nice to be able to just sit it out, put it in front of you, and then deal with it and decide, what am I going to do differently? What am I going to do differently? But when I think about a crack in the foundation, I always say, a small crack becomes a big crack unless we really pay attention and start repairing it. And so it's kind of like that stinking thinking, right? I mean, are you going to do something to actually change what's going on in your life? Remember, again, how do those cracks get there? It gets there from you, maybe the hand that's dealt, it's not really that great. and you throw in the hand. That's a crack in the foundation. Sometimes when we say that we're going to do X or Y and it doesn't come out exactly the way we think, that's another little hairline crack in the foundation. But do you know, I always think about going to like a great grandmother's home, right? Have you ever went in like a home? And I'm in the South. I'm in Dallas. I'm in Texas. And you go in a house, and sometimes it feels almost like you're walking downhill. Well, that's an indication that there's something wrong with the foundation, right? But that didn't happen overnight. That happened over time by not attending to the small hairline crack. We have small hairline cracks all throughout our lives, but we have to decide, am I going to do something about it? Now, I'll tell you, when you think about where cracks really come from, the first of it is really self-made by the choices we make. You have freedom of choice. And because you have freedom of choice, that means that you could choose to do anything, right? You could decide to do anything in your life. But a lot of times, fear and trepidation keeps us from being who we really could be, the things that we really could achieve. The other thing is this whole, we have been taught to forgive others so that God will forgive us. But the real truth is, you also need to understand the value of self-forgiveness so that you can forgive others. Sometimes we don't even think about that. We're really not taught to self-forgive. And so when things don't go go the way we want it, and we have a little crack or a hairline crack in our foundation, maybe because of some of the things that we chose to do. Do you really know how to self-forgive? I mean, really self-forgive and throw it into the sea of forgetfulness? I doubt it. I wasn't trained to do it. I'm better at it now. And understand, I said better at it now that I've been trained as a coach, because now I understand the value of self-forgiveness. The other thing that happens is, there's misunderstandings along the way. If you think that you're going to go through life and you're not going to be misunderstood, or there's not going to be misunderstandings, there will be. But those misunderstandings, shouldn't cause you to go into what I call the quitter syndrome. A lot of times we will have the quitter syndrome. And so what does that really mean? It's that I failed again syndrome. It's the, I didn't do it well enough syndrome. And so again, self-forgiveness, throw it into the sea of forgetfulness and start looking at things that don't go well as the opportunity to try again. Now, I live a life like that. I live it on opportunity, not failure. I also live my life without fear, because fear, it doesn't mean that fear doesn't creep up every now and then, but I don't live my life in fear, because fear is really, people use false evidence appearing real, but fear really is the foundation to what prevents us from living the life that we deserve, period. It's just because it may not be common. It may not be the thing that people are doing. You've got to get past that. If no one in the world can see your vision, would you still drive that vision? And I ask that question tonight because when I started out in streaming TV, nobody saw the vision. And it was 4 years ago. And I was like, okay, but I see the vision. I'm a baby boomer with millennial tendencies. And if I can see the vision, I can understand why people can see the vision. That one day, that this thing that we call our cell phone and TVs in general would be inundated with streaming content, and that all of the world will start to ingest information through streaming. 4 years ago, when I was talking about that, people were looking at me like that, just like the deer in headlights. Like, what is she talking about? She probably should go get a job. Because that is not going to be it. We're used to being able to turn on the TV, and at 10 o'clock p.m., that's when I look at Matlock. Well, it don't work like that. Now streaming is the new, and it's now. And people are absolutely streaming content by the millions on Apple TV, Roku, Fire Stick, all of those things. So if I had let the people define for me what I should be doing, I'd be out of business today. But I didn't. I decided that even when I had some failures along the way, that I viewed them as opportunities. I was telling Taylor earlier this week that the first Roku channel that I bought isn't even in business anymore, and they sold me a whole bunch of promises, y'all. They were like, "Look, we're going to help you. We're going to train you. We're going to teach you." And remember, I'm a baby boomer with millennial tendencies. So this streaming thing wasn't the most familiar thing to me. And so when I bought the channel and then now it's not even in business, what could I have done? I could have said, okay, well, I'm going to hang up that streaming vision that has been planted in me, and I'm going to go off and try something different. But I didn't. I just continued to buy channels because it made sense. It's the right thing to do. And I knew that people were going to sooner or later understand the huge opportunity that really resides with streaming. So let me just kind of pivot a little bit and talk about the freedom of choice in your belief system. I'm wondering, what is your belief system today? Because this thing called our mind is very powerful. There's a slogan, a mind is a terrible thing to lose. It is absolutely the most terrible thing you can lose because it has a lot of power, and it's like a microprocessor, right? It just continuously goes through that and goes through things. And so if we're planning in our mind a belief system of I can't, a belief system of, oh, I'm not sure that'll work, a belief system of what are people going to think, that memory card continues to ping that area in your mind over and over again to the point that you become crippled or maybe even paralyzed or maybe just full of fear that you do nothing. People do nothing because they're full of fear. And I believe that, you have the ability to accept your belief system. You have the ability to change your belief system. You have the ability to modify your belief system. And so again, I'd ask you the question, which do you choose? I would rather be able to modify my belief system, right? And understand that I have the power to change things. And if I have the power to change things, you have the power to change things. It's whether or not you are courageously intentional enough to say, I'm going to do something about it. In life, though, I didn't tell y'all, I am a woman of God. I love God. And so I'm not here to offend anyone tonight, but for the God that I serve, you have freedom of choice for everything. When I say everything, you have the right to choose. A lot of people like to believe, well, I'm going to delay making that decision. But do you realize that no decision is the decision? Delaying the decision is just the lack of courage to say no. Think about it. Oftentimes when we're delaying the decision, it's because it really is a no, but we don't have the courage to tell someone no. And so it's like, well, I'm still thinking about it. It's kind of like a no. Every now and then those turn into yeses, but really it's being courageously intentional enough to say, no, I don't think that's good for me at this time. What's wrong with saying that? Okay, so you have the power to change things. Every moment in your life is a choice. When I was presented with, oh, Zondra, would you like to come and talk to the She Network and teach them something on Thursday night? I could choose to say yes, or I could choose to say no, or I could choose to say, how about another date? So we always have choice. And I think we minimize it because we don't realize that every single moment we're making a choice in our lives. And so you have the freedom of choice. Every moment is a choice. Every moment is a choice to be happy, to be sad, to be joyous, to be entrepreneurial. All of those are choices. But you know that with the choices you make, other things come along with that. okay, to be an entrepreneur. I'm out here, I'm an entrepreneur, y'all. I've been doing this for 4 years. But remember, I came from corporate America. I spent 40 years in corporate America. So think about it. Almost corporate America has kind of attached to my DNA. Although in 4 years, I've been able to kind of shake that thing and just really embrace my entrepreneurial walk because it's quite different. And so, learning new things and applying new things and being in uncomfortable situations. But I will tell you this, being in uncomfortable situations is really where a lot of growth occurs. You need to learn how to be comfortable in uncomfortableness because growth resides in being uncomfortable. Much of what happens in the course of a day really is that we unchallenge the patterns that we've already established in the past. So we don't challenge it. They're unchallenged patterns. Well, this is the way it's always been, or I've always thought of it this way, or I've always thought that I could do this or that. But the past really doesn't dictate your future. Okay, the past serves a lesson, right? The past is so that you could go back and think about, what did I learn and how will I apply that differently? But we don't live in the past, we live in the future. Like we live for today. And then when tomorrow comes, we live for that day. So every day we live for that day, right? And that's how we continue to live into the future. We're walking into the future every single day. I always say you have to have true intention. We talk a lot about intention, and I really am not a believer in just talking about intention. We talk about it all the time. I'm being very intentional. Are you? I think we're intentional every single day. We get up every morning, we brush our teeth, we wash our face, we put on our makeup, we get ready, we go out, we do what we do. And that is being intentional. We cook dinner, we cook breakfast, we do all these things. That's being intentional. But courageously intentional is a whole nother level of intent. That is when that you are willing to access that blue rose moment, that uncommon rose, the one that is blue, not red, yellow, or white, and do something totally different that maybe people are not thinking about doing. I in my coaching practice, when people come to me and then they tell me that they want to do something that's so traditional, it's like it's common. And I challenge them and I go, okay, it's fine. You want to develop an LMS course? I mean, just as an example, right? That's cool. There's a lot of LMS courses out there. What else could you do in order to deliver that content in a unique and different way? I think that we have gotten accustomed to believing that these are the things that work because we look around and we go like, it worked for them. It's going to work for me. It worked for that one. It's going to work for me. And that's not always the truth, you guys. There's so much power in you and you're leaving your power on the table. Let me tell you a story about leaving my power on the table. Now, my name is Zondra, as you know, and that is spelled Zondra. And my middle name is Yvette. And it's not spelled like most Yvettes. It's spelled Evett. Sometimes people used to call me and say, Evet. They won't. I guess I'll be whatever I'm gonna be. But at the end of the day, my name is Zondra Yvette. I left my power on the table for 40 years. 40 years. Can you imagine? When I got to grade school, I could not stand the sound of Zondra on the playground. It was like, Zondra. And I'd be like, oh my goodness. You have to think about it. Remember, I'm a baby boomer with millennial tendencies. In the 60s, who in the world was named Zondra? No one. They were named Susie and, Joanne and Kathy and Teresa. And I was like, but I had to be a Zondra. How does a 3 foot, maybe 3'5" be able to be called Zondra and manage a name so big? It was too big. So I went home crying one day. And I told my mom, I want you to go up to that school and tell them to change my record and call me by my middle name, which is not the typical Yvette. It's Evett. For 40 years, I left my power on the table. And it was not until, because and let me say this, I think significant emotional events is what triggers you to really look at your life. But when my mother passed away, that significant emotional event, she was my very best friend. She was a mom. She was, a confidant. She formed and shaped who I am today. When my mother passed away, it was like this voice that said, you need to use your name. You're big enough now to use your name. Now, I could have accepted that or I could have rejected that, but I decided to begin to use my name. I stopped using Yvette, even though it's my middle name, and I started using Zondra Evans. And do you know that from me using that power that I had left on the table, which is in my name, my world actually shifted. And people started to call me. I was doing motivational speaking in Alaska and Scottsdale and Los Angeles and here and there. I was all over the place. And I was like, wow, because why? It was not common. Zondra is not a common name. But that uncommonality was crippling me for 40 years. And at the point of starting to use my name, I got so much power. Okay, just in your name. So I would like to ask you, what power are you leaving on the table? Because I guarantee you're leaving something on the table. Go get your power. It's part of who you are. It's part of your DNA. So the sooner you kind of realize about your power, the sooner you'll realize that you are the most valuable asset and the true resource. You're really the commodity, even if you got a corporate job. If I wish somebody would have told me this when I was in corporate, I don't think I really knew it, like really knew it. But if I really understood that company hired me because I am a valuable asset and the true commodity, like in order for them to do what they need to do, they need Zondra. And guess what? If you work for a corporate company, they need you too. So they need you. You're the asset. And if all of the physical assets walked out of the company at the same time, do you realize that company would go out of business? So you are really the most valuable asset. And listen, the other thing is that because you're the most valuable asset, I want you to understand that what you bring to the table is not just you, but it's the essence of you, like your personality, your style, you create a certain environment. I always say that you should be able to walk into the room and the environment should shift just because of the light that you bring to the room. So when I walk in a room, I expect to make a shift in the environment. Sometimes we have to expect things to be so that we can walk in our full greatness. You are absolutely more than enough. Because I think that sometimes, and I know people say it all the time, and I bet you get tired of hearing people go, you're enough, you're worthy. But do you understand that what we speak out of our mouths and what we say in our minds, even if we don't speak it out of our mouth, we say it in our minds, really helps to shape and form and define who you are. You are worthy of success. And you have to start claiming that. Now, here's the thing. I'm not, affirmations, people, I do affirmations every day, but ain't nothing changing. That's kind of crazy to me. Okay, so what does that really say to you about affirmations? It says to me that you can affirm all you want to, but if you really don't believe it, affirmations are worthless. I'm probably the first person to say that to you. They're worthless. So if you're going to affirm something every day, believe it. and don't really affirm it until you believe it. Because through the positive affirmation every day, because you believe it, your world will change. I promise you it will. I don't write no affirmations. I really don't. I just get up every day with a grateful spirit, thankful to see another day. And of course, my favorite thing is good morning, Jesus. I say that every day. Good morning. Because you know what? He directs my path. He orders my steps. So you have everything you need. When I tell you everything, you have everything you need inside of you. And you might not think that you do. A lot of people are like, oh, I can't do that. Or I'm not trained to be that. But you have everything you need inside of you. But most of the time, we're not willing to access that because it's unfamiliar. People don't walk around and really, access their true potential. They really don't. People walk around operating probably, on the high end, about 60% of your potential. Why do I say that? Because most of us are not investing in ourselves, differentially investing in ourselves so that we can begin to lift that muscle. See, a muscle is weak unless we start to lift that muscle. What does that mean? That means that I may need to get some training. That means that I may need to surround myself with a set of different people. That means that I need to understand the power of collaboration. That might mean I need to really learn how to associate myself with the right level of people. There's a lot of things. It's different for everybody. I can't give you a formula. There is no magic recipe. Oh, Zondra, give me the recipe. I'm giving you some pieces of the recipe today. Most of us are not courageously intentional, though, to access our true potential. And here's the thing. We have gotten conditioned because people use this. Remember, I told you intentional. I don't use intentional. I use courageous intention because to me, courageous intention is where all the glory resides. It's where it's not familiar. It may not be the most, common thing. So I believe in being courageously intentional, but I also don't believe in serving the universe the best version of you. What does that mean? When I think about it, I go, what is the best version of you? Is it version 2.0? Is it version 3.9? I mean, what is it? I don't know what that best version is. I think that your power is in serving the true, genuine, authentic you. That's not a version. I don't want a Xerox copy of you because, if you take a Xerox copy and you keep making copies of it, a Xerox copy, that's when it just continues to get lighter and weaker. And then pretty soon, when, how they give you those, they give you some of those, I don't know what they're called, but they're like a painting and they go, can you see what's in the painting? And you're going, you're squinting your eyes and you're trying to figure it out. But when people make tons of Xerox copies off of a copy, it becomes lighter and lighter and it's harder and harder to decipher. That is you. If you're trying to be the best version of you, it's not the genuine, authentic you. Do you have the courage today to be the genuine, authentic you? Most of the time, we don't have the courage to do it. So I want to kind of pivot a little bit and talk about vision, because the reason why I'm in TV today is because of a vision. Can you imagine and believe that? Because of a vision. I had a vision board. I had one thing left to do on the vision board, and it was Fireside Chat with Zondra. And when I said I was going to do it, now remember I told you I live in Dallas, Texas, and early September is still burning up hot. And I just thought I was going to invite some girlfriends. We were going to sit about on the fire, have some cheese and crackers and maybe a little bubbly and talk about a topic. And I was going to have that recorded. And when I told the videographer that, he was like, y'all going to be sweating and it ain't going to look good on camera. But I didn't let that stop me. Remember, we let things stop us. Like, okay, well, it can't be there. Then where could it be? Well, guess what? I ended up turning my great room into a studio and we recorded it there. Because I was obedient to the vision board and I did it regardless. If you have a vision board, Do everything that's on that vision board. And I ain't talking about, the umbrella drinks. I'm talking about make you a vision board of what you really want your life to be and who you want to, or I should say differently, how you want to serve the world. How you going to show up and serve the world, what's really inside of you, that genuine, authentic you. And so I think a vision is extremely important. And if Carrie Conley hears this, Carrie Conley, you are the vision woman. I have your book, and I totally believe in a vision. But if you think about your vision, I'd like to use an analogy. Think about a floodlight. A floodlight, it comes on, it services a wide area. And oftentimes we'll have them on our garage. We'll have floodlights going this way and we have floodlights going that way. And we're looking, it gives us a preview of, kind of big. To me, that's what a vision is. It's like the floodlight approach. It's the big thing, right? And then I think your purpose is what I would call the flashlight. A flashlight only goes so far. If this is a flashlight, it only goes so far. And so then you're able to hone in on that purpose, right? What is your purpose? But once you understand your purpose, then you become the spotlight. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean like the spotlight on stage or the spotlight on TV or the spotlight on a podcast. You become the spotlight that is bright, shining bright and directing and bringing people to the light. Because don't you know, like when there is a spotlight in the sky, everybody, don't play with me, y'all. Everybody wants to know, wonder what's going on over there, wonder what they're having. I wonder if that's some fire sale. It just goes, your mind goes crazy, right? Because what is that spotlight? That spotlight, it's coming and it's turning and it's spotlight and it's stopping in different areas as the spotlight. That's when you're able to draw, right? When you're able to draw people to your genuine, authentic you. People are drawn to that. So that's why I'm really against the best version of you. Just be who you are, who God created you to be. He makes no mistakes. You're wonderfully made. And so start using that analogy that the vision is the floodlight, but then the purpose is the flashlight. But the true place that you're trying to get to, it's about you. You're the spotlight, and you want to be your own spotlight. You'll be surprised at what your genuine, authentic self can actually bring to the table. Also, I think we've gotten to the point that we dare to dream. Courageous people are self-made. Now, I believe that. I believe that with all my heart. Now, why would you say that? Okay, Zondra, I believe that because I believe that you have to be courageously intentional to do the uncommon thing and really experience that blue rose moment. I do. I'm sold on it. I'm sold. I'm sold out. I'm believing that. We decide what's possible or impossible. Do y'all realize that? But here's the thing, and probably you've already heard this. Impossible separated is I'm possible. What does that say about you? I mean, you're the most valuable asset and the true resource. Come on now. I'm possible. I'm possible. I can do anything that I put my mind to. Stop minimizing yourself. Stop saying that you can't or I don't know how to do that or whatever. Okay, it's okay. It's okay to ask for support. People don't dream anymore because self-disappointment is harder to overcome. When you're disappointed in yourself, I promise you, it goes over and over and over in your mind, and the disappointment grows. It's almost like self-disappointment has this yeast on steroids. It's like it's more than just a common packet of yeast. It's like yeast on steroid, and it keeps feeding on it, and it keeps getting bigger, and then you get more embarrassed, and you get more. It's crazy. So people don't dream anymore because you know what? Self-disappointment. I don't want no more self-disappointment. I can't get over that. We have not learned how to self-forgive. Therefore, self-disappointment is just as bad. If I disappoint myself, I can't forgive myself. I'm always going to be thinking about it. I'm always going to be, think about the feeling I had when people found out that the business didn't work. I mean, it's over and over again. So I really, really, really would highly suggest that you dream again. You get that vision, you understand your purpose, and you make it happen. Now, here's the reason why people don't make their purpose happen. This is why people are walking around today, and many people go to their grave saying, I really don't know what my purpose is. So not the truth. Stop telling a story. That is so not the truth. You do know. But are you courageously intentional enough to actually access what it is? No, because how will I make money? What are my friends going to say? Oh, I might have to get rid of some folk. I might have to start being around a different set of people. I mean, it's just so many questions, right? So here's the thing. You have to do self-discovery. It is not an option. It's a requirement in order to get to your purpose. What does that really mean? That means, will you be courageously intentional enough to schedule 15 minutes on your calendar where you sit with you, just you, no phone, no music, no animals, no kids, no significant other, nothing. We can't hardly stand ourselves for 15 minutes of quiet time. People like to say they meditate, but really, you probably meditate, but you're thinking on something. You're meditating on something, or you got that soft music in the background. I'm talking about complete silence. At first, you're gonna hear a lot of chatter, and that chatter might scare you because it's like, oh, I thought that, and I thought that. But I believe that if you really train your mind, because your mind can be trained to think differently, to respond differently. Ask yourself during your quiet time, who are you and why you're here? Those are two most valuable questions that you could ask in your life. I'll tell you at first, because I had to do it. I'm a believer, and if I don't try it, then I can't sell it. That's who I am. Because then it creates this passion in me to tell the story. When I first started trying to understand and do self-discovery, I was hearing everything, y'all. Go pick up the dry cleaning. Don't forget to pick up, some ground turkey so you could make some spaghetti tonight. Don't forget, to pick up your shoes that are over there being, worked on at the shoe shop. I was hearing everything, and I had to learn how to settle my mind and get rid of the chatter, because the chatter is a problem. It's a problem, and it will always be a problem. And so I want you, if you do nothing outside of this, start scheduling your own quiet time. Start out at 15 minutes and then go to 30, at least once a month. We need to have quiet time. I know that I take quiet time on a reg. I bet I'll be taking quiet time because it's important. And when I am in just total still of quiet time, not thinking about anything at all, you'll hear something, and it's directional. It's going to help you to direct your life. I promise you, that's what'll happen. Now I want to pivot to purpose really quickly, because I think, purpose and grace kind of go together. So when I think of purpose is the determination. It's the courageous intent, right? That's where purpose is. It's not going to be something common, you guys. And it may not be the thing that at first is going to make the money, but you have to be determined. And that is really where purpose is. But there's another thing, I call it's really the trifecta. Grace is important. What is grace? I'm going to be speaking on that tomorrow at an event that's called Grace and Purpose with Sharon Lecter. And I've been really thinking a lot about it. And I'm going to talk about it tomorrow too. Grace is really unmerited favor that everybody gets. If you wake up tomorrow morning, you get a fresh new slate of grace and mercy every day. You don't have to do any work for it. You don't have to go out and pay for it. It's grace is given every single day. All you got to do is wake up, show up, and give it your best. The best what? The best you. Not the best version, the best you. And purpose and grace actually work together. Because when you understand grace is unmerited favor, then you'll understand that in your purpose, when things don't go exactly as planned, that the next day you have a new, clean, nothing on it canvas of grace. And what you paint on it that day determines the outcome for that day, because that day is enough. But here's the thing, like grace and purpose just can't be out there flailing, right? Remember I said it's the trifecta. There's a trifecta to grace and purpose. And what grace and purpose sits on, the foundation, it's built on faith. Yeah, I did. I said faith. Faith and belief that you have everything that you need in order to prevail. So that in the middle of the triangle, which I call the trifecta, that's where the works are done every single day. That's where the work is done. You do the work every single day is in the middle. But it's surrounded by purpose and grace and faith. Those three things create the trifecta. So I challenge you today. Start living in your purpose. Absolutely do that. And really understand that everything doesn't have to go right, but you have grace and you have a fresh new canvas every single day to paint what you would like to paint on that canvas for that day. Learn to live in this day. And don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about what happened in the past. Just live this day and put your best foot forward. It's gonna be amazing. Stop searching for that one thing. Because I think people be searching, oh, what is the one thing? What is my one purpose? Do y'all believe that it's just one purpose? I believe that you could have many. I don't think it's one thing. Didn't y'all hear me when I introduced myself? I am an inspirational, motivational speaker, but I am also a best-selling author. And guess what? I also own a television network, and I'm an executive producer and owner of streaming TV. Can I be all those things and be successful? Yes. So I don't have just one purpose. I got hair in my eye, y'all. I don't have just one purpose. I have many. I have many things that I'm good at. So you know what? I apply them. Okay. When you kind of say it's only one thing and I don't know what that one thing is, you are really in a form of bondage. Do you really want to be in bondage? It boxes you in. But I told y'all from the beginning, the God that I serve, he is omnipresent and is not in no box. Okay, so then I live without a box, which means that I have so many opportunities available. I have so many options available. I have so many choices. That's where you want to be. Live without a box. Stop trying to live outside the box. People, that's another one. I don't live in a box. I live outside the box. But the box is always close enough for you to jump back in. So why don't just live without a box altogether? And then we ain't got to worry about jumping in and out like the Jack in the Box. Okay. So you don't have to be that. Live without a box. It's possible. I live without a box. So relentless determination is extremely important. And so you got to be okay to need support in your relentless determination to seek out your purpose and to live the life that you deserve. So I believe that you have to be okay for asking for support. Now, I want you to notice one thing. I said support. I didn't say help, because don't help kind of sound weak. I'm careful about the words that I choose. When I think about help, I go, help me, I'm poor. Did y'all see that movie? Bridesmaids. Help me, help. Oh, help me, I can't move this. It just sounds weak. But there's nothing wrong with asking somebody to support you. Can you support me in what I'm doing? Support my initiatives, right? It's all in what we speak out of our mouths about how people receive it and how people can see it in us. Be your genuine self. Ask for support. Have faith and push past fear. Because, fear, everybody likes to talk false evidence appearing real. Well, you know what? I've reframed my mindset around what fear is. It's face everything and rise for real. And I got that from Les Brown, and I'll say it now. And I'm like, that's it. Face everything and rise. Just face it and go on and do what you need to do in order to live the life that you deserve. The life that you deserve is waiting on you. Are you going to access it? Believe in you. Cultivate confidence. You got to be confident. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You have to be confident. Change your storyline. I always tell people when people say, oh, no, I can't do that. I'm not. I ask them all the time, who wrote the storyline? Did you write that storyline or somebody else? And most oftentimes we are writing the storyline, and that is exactly, we are coming up with all of the evidence to support that storyline of why you can't do something. Access your Blue Rose moment. Do the thing that is not common. Do the uncommon thing. What's wrong with that? The world needs you. We're waiting on you to tap into your greatness. Own your uniqueness and stop comparing yourself, because I think we compare ourselves, and we as women are really bad at that. Like, women don't dress for men. Women dress for other women. Women dress for other women, right? Oh, she said, oh, my purse was beautiful, or I look great, and your makeup is great. We do that for other women. Stop comparing. Be who you are. I was in a session, and somebody said something about, and now we've never seen Zondra without having makeup, and I said it never will. Why? Because that's part of my DNA. I've been doing this all my life. I'm a Southern girl. My mother trained me. You don't go out and pump gas without a little lipstick on some powder. So that's who I am. So I can't help it. I'm old. I'm not old. I'm seasoned now. This is who I am, right? Serve the world the genuine, authentic you. Know that you have everything inside of you to prevail. You are not a Xerox copy of yourself. Be you. There's so much value in serving the world you. The universe is waiting on you. And so with that, I'm kind of getting to the top of the hour. I want to thank you all. This has been amazing. I hope you got something out of it. Hey,
oh my gosh.
Be the best you.
Notes. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so Zondra, well, first of all, like, I'm feeling a little self-confident because I mean, like, you're talking like, okay, I better put my lipstick on.
No, girl, look, hair all in my, I'm telling you, it's a bad day. But go on, it's a bad hair day, but I'm good. You are frozen. Frozen? I'm not, you are.
Oh, here we are. Okay.
You're back.
Oh, I hate my internet. Okay, so I was laughing because I was like, as I was hiding, I was like, I'm gonna put my lipstick on here. So I just took like 3 pages of notes. I think probably one of the most, I mean, you said so many, there's so much nuggets in here, and there's so much rabbit trails I'd like to tap into. But I think probably one of the most powerful things that you said that I really, really think that women, if they got even just one thing out of this conversation right here, is self-forgiveness. And, I mean, because of all of these things, I really think that if you really kind of peel the layers back and you really start getting to the root cause of maybe why they can't have 15 minutes by themselves, why they allow the clutter of the day, and whenever you start really peeling back the layers of why they can't think the storyline that they're telling themselves, why they can't create a vision board. I mean, so there's so many things that you said that could be the things that could take us into our future, that can help us walk into our future. And, courageously intentional, I feel like that, dealing with women, they stay paralyzed to their past. They stay paralyzed because they can't forgive themselves, and therefore they're in bondage with unforgiveness with other people. So it's like you've got to start here within, what because I always think about this. I think about the scripture you were sharing, your belief system, your faith, and I love. And probably, the scripture that I love the most that ties right into this here, Isaiah 43:18, forget for of the past. See that I'm creating in you and me. You see it. And that was a word that the Lord really gave to me whenever I was going to divorce, right? And am I
you sound like an alien.
Just great. Okay. So did you hear anything I said?
One or two things.
Okay. A good connection here. I really want to share. This is really good. No. Maybe. Really good. Really good. You hear me. You tell me whenever you hear me. You tell me whenever I'm there. Now, no, not really. Now, no, better, no.
You're frozen.
Okay, I'm frozen.
Shucks. Can you jump out and jump in? I don't know.
Okay, and I'll come back.
So I'll entertain y'all while until Taylor comes back in. I hope y'all enjoyed this evening. I surely did. I love talking about the power of who you are and encouraging people to tap into their greatness. It's inside of you. It's waiting to come out. And so try it. And understand the power of self-forgiveness, because I think that, we're not forgiving ourselves. So then when something happens, we end up not forgiving other people because we haven't done self-forgiveness. So learn to forgive yourself and to live the life that you deserve. And I think we have Taylor back.
Right now?
Yeah. But I can see you.
But you can't hear me.
Oh. You should use your phone as a hotspot.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna say this. I'm definitely gonna say this.
Now I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yep.
Okay. You can hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. What I was saying is this. Did you know?
Maybe you need to stay leaning forward. Lean forward.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what I was saying was this. The forgiveness part. Where women say held bondage. No. Okay, I'm turning on my hotspot.
Put on your hotspot.
This is so crazy. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, so you still haven't heard me?
Hear you.
This is gonna.
Okay. So jump out. Try to jump back in. Oh. Oh. Hey, you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, now I have 3 Taylor Thompsons here. Or 2 Taylor. I don't
Are
even
you
know.
on your hotspot?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So I don't know which one to remove, so I'm just going to keep them both. So I have a blank and me and then you. So, okay. So what I was saying here, and I really think that this is important just because of the forgiveness, the self-forgiveness piece of it, right? The self-forgiveness piece, because here, like, so many people are held captive because if they can't forgive themselves, then they're not going to be able to forgive someone else.
That's right.
And so and God gave me this scripture whenever I was going through my divorce, and it was like darkest, deepest pit of my life. And this was the word that the Lord gave me. And it was the scripture, Isaiah 43:18. And it was, forget former things of the past. See that I'm creating in you a new thing. Don't you perceive it? And it was this reminder that, okay, I have got something in front of you. Do not look behind. Don't look in the rearview mirror. Look in front of you. Stay focused. Look ahead. Forget everything that's happened before now. This is your line in the sand.
Yeah.
This is your time to move forward. And so, and I just remember, and I still in my Bible, like today, is like, don't let the enemy remind you of your past. And so it was just this thing, and I'm so thankful for that word, because I just see, dealing with women and just talking to people in general, that I feel like that is such a stronghold. It's such a burden. It's like a ball and chain in people's life, right?
I love it, ball and chain, because it is. Because you know why? But here's the thing. Because we were never taught that self-forgiveness is just as important as forgive others so that God will forgive you.
Yeah.
But we weren't taught self-forgiveness so that God will forgive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But real self-forgiveness, I'm talking about throwing it into the sea. Like, I'm done. I laid it at the foot of the cross. I'm done.
Yeah, it's true. Mm-hmm. It's just such a, I totally agree with it. I think like in everything that you said tonight, I love, there's we could create so many different training segments just in many different things that you said here, but just that alone, just let if you peel back all the layers and get down to this right here, if we could just get to that piece right there and start there, and then take those other pieces and make building blocks from it, and then be courageously intentional. Think about your blue rose moment. Like, I think I'm going to take my whole wall in my office and make a vision board. I think that's what I was thinking about doing as you were taking on. I'm going to make my whole wall like a plaster board, like the whole wall, like vision, right? I love that. I love this idea. So, well, I know we're still on here. We went a little over. So good. Just appreciate you. Thank you so much for making the choice to say yes.
Yes.
Right. I feel blessed.
I feel blessed. I do.
And so anyway, I know that the ladies, as they listen to this, are going to be blessed too, and here's the thing. If it just helps one, it's
baby. Each one reach one at a time. I don't need to get 100. Just get one and another one. And before you know it, you'll have 100.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about living in this day. Yeah. Let me reach one in this day, and then one the next day, and then 365 days, I will have 365 people that I've changed in the world in a year. See, we need to take this thing and just break it down.
That's true. That's the deal. Like so many people want to take, how do you eat an elephant? It's just one bite at a time, right? It's just a day at a time, a break at a time, and so that's how I see this. That's how I see this movement for me, just one at a time, right? Just one life at a time. So anyway, I am so thankful. Thank you so much. You're such a blessing.
Welcome.
Appreciate you so much. I'm going to say bye to the ladies and say bye to you privately.
Okay.
So I hope you have a great evening. Be blessed. And we will see you guys, you ladies, tomorrow.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.